Hello, welcome to today's podcast. My name is Carl Smith. I'm the owner and business coach at Concept Fitness Consultancy. The intention of these podcasts is to offer support to trainers and coaches. And probably right now, more than ever, there certainly shouldn't be a shortage of help available. My intention is that the podcast lasts around 20 minutes in duration, hence the name of the podcast, 20 questions in 20 minutes. And each week I'll interview a coach or a trainer that's making it work right now. If you've got any questions at all, just bang them in the comments box below. But right now, though, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Jonny Peterson. Jonny, are you there?
Hi, Carl. Yeah, thanks for the invite.
No problem at all, mate. I think, Jonny, we've known each other, I want to say, for a good couple of years. I think maybe 3 or 4. Certainly, I remember meeting you at the St. Helens Club prior to that workout that I remember booking with you randomly through our app at the time and just turning up and expecting a session to be delivered. But I remember having a really good chest workout with you. And I remember you teaching me a few different things that I maybe didn't know. So I know that you've been through the employed PT side of things with Exercise for Less, and you also are now self-employed. And I also remember working with you during lockdown 1, if you want to call it that, when we developed a virtual platform, and you delivered some workouts and some virtual classes for us. You did a home boxing class, as far as I remember, that was one of the highest attended classes on the platform. So I thought, Jonny, I thought it'd be good to get you on one of these podcasts, just to kind of share some of the ideas. That I know that you run a successful PT business now. I also know that you're a really positive person, and I know that you've adapted your business throughout this sort of lockdown to make it work for you. And I just thought that I wonder if you've got some stories that you might be able to share with some of the guys that are listening today and watching, and maybe they take some of the ideas that you've implemented yourself away from today and make it work for them. So without further ado, sir, let me allow you to introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about why you started your PT business.
Yeah, absolutely. So I roughly started 4.5 years ago. Exercise for Less. That's pretty much where I've been all of that time. As you mentioned previously, I've been employed, I've been self-employed. I actually started out as self-employed and then went to an employed model through Exercise for Less. They turned into like a forfeit model. And then I left Exercise for Less to go self-employed. And I worked out of another local gym in St. Helens. And then I went back to Exercise for Less as it went back to a self-employed model. And that's where I currently am. Obviously, the gyms are now closed. But yeah, Exercise for Less, I would consider to be kind of my home gym, if you like. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 4 years, building my knowledge, building my experience, and building my expertise, I guess. And then we're up to today.
And you said that was 4.5 years now?
Yeah, 4.5 years. So I qualified in 2016 in the April maybe or March, and then I started in the April at Exercise for Less. I did my PT course through who was it now?
That was going to be my next question. So
do you know what? I actually can't remember. That's pretty bad.
Wow.
Was it Future? Progress Sports.
Who?
You might Progress Sports.
Okay.
Progress Sports.
Okay, obviously a while ago. So,
yeah, I actually can't remember. I remember now. Sorry, I remember. It was the training room. The training room. Have you heard of them?
Yes, very, very big training provider. So
yeah, they do PT courses. They do beauty courses.
That's right.
Yeah, so it was a 6 week PT course, the quickest way to become a PT, and the entry, I guess, into the industry. So
good man. Okay, so effectively, like many PTs now, you did an intensive 6 week course, and then did you get straight into work, or did you sort of have a think about things, look around, or how did that start?
It started as I finished uni. I did not know what I wanted to do. I studied a maths degree, and it was a case of I didn't know what to do next. And I chose that. I came across a PT course online. I always had a passion for working out, exercising, and I decided to go ahead with it just as a minimum expectation of developing my own knowledge for my own training. So at that point, it was never something I was considering as a career. But then as I did the course, I started to obviously start to talk about how you can make a career out of it. And then that's where it kind of started for me. So it was all very relaxed at first. And then the manager at the time, Louise, she came and did a recruitment drive with a couple
I
of
remember
other.
Louise. Yeah.
Yeah. She came and she pitched basically the model, which at the time it was a 3-tier model. It was 25 hours unpaid, or it was 15 hours unpaid, £50 a week.
Yeah.
Or it was basically like a ladder scheme.
100 and 0.
Yeah, so that was really beneficial. I went for the 25 hours unpaid, even though I wasn't getting paid for it. It was getting me on the gym floor, networking with gym members. So that was very important to start out, definitely. I had a part-time job at the time. Well, I actually had a full-time job, but I transitioned over to part-time so I could do the 25 hours unpaid. And then as I became busier, I basically dropped my hours at the restaurant that I worked at and increased my PT clients. And then it was very, very smooth, the transition, until I got to a point where I didn't need my other job.
Good man.
And then that's when I went self-employed about a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Sorry, I went employed first, as the model suited me because I was about to become a father. And that's why I decided to go employed. So that was like shifts, 24 hours a week, but there was an option to do overtime. And it was like commission based. So that worked pretty well. It was a big change for everyone. And again, it was just about how you viewed it and what your attitude was towards it. A lot of people weren't happy with the change, but I decided to work with it rather than against it, and did pretty well. I was in the top kind of, was it the top 10 quite frequently.
Yeah.
Probably about 3 or 4 months out of the 12 months. And I was always within the top kind of 20 performers of the whole kind of company.
Yeah.
And then I got to a point where Exercise for Less decided to change the pricing structures, which affected my clients massively, more so than me. And that's when I took the leap to go to another gym and become self-employed again. And then stayed there for a year. And then when I found out Exercise for Less was moving back to self-employed, my contract was up with the other gym. And then I went back to Exercise for Less. I was there for a month and then lockdown happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what I can pick from that already is that you're pretty good at adapting to all that change. Well, just pretty random potentially, but you deliver. I know you do group sessions as well as one-to-one. Is there a particular one that you prefer delivering to, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. Group sessions, definitely my least favorite. I only currently train one group, and that's man and wife. I have trained son and daughter before. The reason I don't prefer group sessions over one-to-one is because I think with personal training or coaching, whatever you want to call it, it's quite an intimate thing and it's quite a one-to-one thing. And I think you can't build a relationship with two people. You can really get like into the deep kind of nitty-gritty with one person. And it, for me, coaching is not just about training and getting a sweat on and building muscle. It's more about, let's say, life coaching in a way, building the person from the inside out. And I find that it's a lot harder to achieve when it's two people. So for that reason, I do prefer one-to-one a lot more. Now, people train in groups either because of financial reasons, which usually means that they're not as committed as they need to be, or it's because they're scared to do it on their own. Say, for example, it's a man and husband or a son and daughter. Usually it's one person who wants it more, and that's the person who really should be having the coaching. Not to say that it doesn't work, but that's the reason why I do prefer one-to-one. I get better results with one-to-one.
Okay. So if I think about your business model, what services do you offer? I mean, presumably you still offer some group sessions? It's just you maybe adverse to sort of delivering them, or is it just one-to-one that that you have available, or do you offer group sessions? Do you do large group sessions, and do you still do classes?
Yeah, so I offer 1-to-1. I offer 2-to-1. I don't promote 2-to-1, but I do offer it.
Yeah.
And then anything over that, I don't typically offer. And then I do my freelance classes more so as a buffer for finances, as it's obviously regular income, and also mental stimulation, because it gives me kind of that break and diversity to my day. Like spending 8 hours back to back with 8 different people can be quite mentally taxing. So having that break in the middle of like delivering a group session, it can be fun, a little bit more relaxed and less educational, more group environment friendly and fun. So that's why I like to keep classes in as well. So that's the second kind of stream of income. And then when the lockdown happened, I had to adapt. So initially I didn't make any additional income. I moved all my clients over to kind of video call, and then I developed additional sources of income through an 8-week challenge that I launched, and also through online classes, which you helped obviously with. So that's what happened like when we transitioned over to the lockdown. Okay. So yeah, I guess my main things are 1-to-1. Now I've started the 8-week challenge through lockdown, which I'm on my second one. And then also I've recently started online coaching off the back of the first online challenge that I did.
Great. So if just we'll get into a little bit more detail in a second or two, but how many sessions were you delivering pre-lockdown, and how many sessions a week are you delivering now?
So pre-lockdown, I was delivering probably between 25 and 30 sessions, at the most 35 pre-lockdown.
Yeah.
Then during the lockdown, a couple of my clients dropped off, just couldn't see how it would work without gyms open. I probably retained about 50-60% of my clients. So quite a few left, but quite a lot stayed as well. And then coming out of the lockdown, some returned who weren't with me.
Yeah.
And then I picked up quite a few new clients.
Yeah.
Just after that first lockdown, a lot of people gained a lot of weight, felt demotivated, etc. So I did gain quite a few new clients. And then going into the second lockdown, pretty much retained all my clients,
well done,
bar 1 or 2. So currently, I've not worked it out, but probably around 25 sessions at the moment is what I'm on.
Brilliant. Well, that's definitely something you can share in a second. So is there any particular tech that has supported you with your with adapting your business to a sort of an online delivery model?
How do you mean by online delivery model? Like online coaching, or
what you've done? And there's a couple of other trainers that have, I'm sure more than a couple that have done likewise. But you've literally moved your live business to deliver on the computer. So the only real difference is that they're not, you're not face to face. You've got a computer screen that you.
So it's basically the same business, but through a video call rather than. Yeah. And I think that's the confusion. It's still face to face what I'm doing, but just using a video. Whereas online, you don't have that 1-to-1 face to face time. It's everything. You get a plan, you follow it. That's the big difference.
Exactly. So I suppose the traditional, I suppose, online PT is more of a, and it suits a type of person, I'm sure, that maybe doesn't need face-to-face training, wants a structured plan, wants motivating along the way, which is where online sort of PT fits. But I don't know what we're calling this. It's not a hybrid, so to speak, but what you've done effectively is delivered your online business, and you've adapted your business quickly, so you're still able to deliver the service. It can be done in the convenience of the client's home, and for you, it's kept an income stream coming through, as opposed to saying to your clients, look, we'll see you when we're back open, which is a number of us may well have done because we just didn't know how to sort of how to support our clients through it. So is it Zoom that you use?
I started with Zoom, but then I had quite a few complications, so I just switched over to WhatsApp video, and that's what I've been using ever since.
Right.
I do think Zoom is more professional because WhatsApp I chat to them on. So having that separate platform, it almost provides a certain level of professionalism. But
Yeah.
I was having a lot of teething problems with it, so it was just more convenient to switch to WhatsApp video, and that's still what I use now.
Do you mind running us through these teething problems, just so that other people who might be going down that route get a
Yeah,
bit?
yeah, of course. So the main one was connectivity. People not being able to connect, me not being able to connect, and then the password kind of situation where you need a password to get on, but
Yeah.
it provides you with the password in like the small text of the invitation. So it was just more a case of let's just go into WhatsApp. It's let's try that, and it just worked from day one. So I did start out with Zoom, but I think it lasted about 2 days, and then started to use WhatsApp video.
Okay. Well, if all you need is a video call, so to speak, then why not? Makes sense.
Yeah,
I suppose the other side of things. I mean, if you're only delivering one-to-one, the other side of things with Zoom is you've got if you don't pay for a subscription, you can only have I think it's only 40 minutes in one.
45. Yeah. Well, it might be 40 actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One go, so which is no good if you're doing an hour session. It's only 45 minutes. Somebody's going to miss out on that, that last 5 minutes.
exactly.
All right, cool. Well, look, do you use any other bits of kit or tech, so to speak? I don't know. Well, you tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I used my phone for the video call mainly. I used the first lockdown to introduce a check-in procedure with my clients. So this is admittedly something I never did
Okay.
before the first lockdown.
And how
It
does
was
that work?
always something. It was always something that I wanted to bring into my coaching service, but never did. So how does it work?
Yeah.
Basically, my clients receive a check-in form every single week on a Friday, and then they have the weekend to get it back to me, and it basically weighs them, or they weigh themselves. They do progression photos, and they answer a series of questions regarding how the week went. So how the training went, how the food intake has been, what their activity levels have been like, what the hydration's been like, any negatives to the week, any positives to the week, and then every Monday I'll go through these and feedback.
How do you feedback? Do you feedback via email, via WhatsApp, via
WhatsApp,
face call?
WhatsApp voice note is the main one. Again, if I had a separate kind of service, it would create a more professional look, and that's something I'm going to do. I actually hired a coach during lockdown as well, who I work with online, and he uses an app called Voxer. If you've ever heard of that, it's like a walkie-talkie app. I'm gonna basically transfer my check-in procedure onto that. So it's just a walkie-talkie app, and you can leave voice notes on it. You can send pictures and stuff. So it's basically like WhatsApp, but a different kind of app, I guess. But the results of my clients changed massively when I brought in a check-in procedure.
Yeah, just brings
Like
that accountability, and I guess that's
absolutely.
It's
And
another.
I found as well I was losing track of, because I was checking in with my clients, but just verbally.
Yeah.
Every time I saw them, like, oh, how have you got on this week? And I just found I was asking the same questions over and over and over. So
anecdotal, isn't it? When you're asking how have you got on? Are you all right? The instinct is to say yes, everything was fine, and you don't get the detail, do you?
And then clients who I see more than once a week would tell me on the first session and in the second session, because I'm getting, I've got like however many clients a day, I'm forgetting what questions I've asked to what clients. So having it all in one place written down just takes the work out completely. I don't have to think about asking those questions. I can actually use the session time to educate them on how to train, or ask them more personal questions and get a better understanding of them as a human and as a person, so I can help them even further.
It's a bit like you start the process with a consultation and a consultation form, and then almost without that check-in process, you lose that understanding of your client as they're getting on. We knew how they were prior to training with us, but on a weekly basis, we don't, unless you have that in-depth conversation every week, and you don't get that with online. typically, do you? So you lose it. So is there a particular bit of tech that you used to create the form, or did you use Google Forms? Did you use a Word document? Is it Excel?
Yeah, so something called Typeform, if you've heard of that. It's similar to Google Docs, but again, just a different platform. So Typeform, just create your own questions. You can add links to videos. You can do anything on it really.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a very, very simple check-in form. I can do consultation forms on there. I can do anything you want really. So Typeform, that's called.
All right, brilliant. If I was really up to speed with editing, there would be a link, but that won't happen this time. But Typeform, Google it. The other question I had, I think, was is there an option on your check-in form for somebody to have a face-to-face meeting, or do you sort of do you prompt that in any way, and does that cost an additional premium?
So yeah, I mean, I include one of the first questions. The first question is what's your name, so I know who it is. The second question is how much do you weigh? I think. The second question is the how has your week gone? Basically, I use a traffic light system, so green, amber, and red. And if it's red, then I know then that person needs more attention that week. And if it's red, they usually go into a lot of detail in the questions where I ask them how's the week gone. Or if it's someone who doesn't really open up that easily, then that's when I would then prompt them and maybe jump on a call with them. It depends on the person. Not everyone needs a call, but certainly, like if someone needs a call to discuss something personal, or if someone needs a call for me to actually call them out on something that they're not doing, then yeah, absolutely, we'll get on the phone together and have that conversation. But yeah, no, it doesn't cost anything extra. That's why I've incrementally increased my prices over lockdown, and it's because I understand the value of coaching more and what I have to offer. So yeah, all that's included in the price.
Well, that was another question I was certainly going to ask you today. Was when you moved your business, one, you've moved some online, and then I guess the others are having this sort of thing in the middle that I still think is online PT.
Yeah.
But did you reduce your prices at all? And obviously you just told me that you I think you increased them. But was there an urge to think about reducing them initially?
With the lockdown?
Yeah.
No, because I mean, when I was on the business mastermind course that I did, a couple of other PTs asked this question to Mark, who was the course provider. A couple of other PTs said, and his response was simple. You know, your clients are paying you to get a result. Gym closures do not change that at all. They're paying for you, your service, your time, and yeah, reducing your cost is devaluing yourself. So no, but again, I had that support network around me that was supportive and made me confident and believe myself. So yeah, no, my prices stayed the same.
Good advice. So thank you. Okay, well, I think that was really useful just to get an understanding of how your check-in process works. If you were talking to a new PT that literally started yesterday, or let's say they qualified yesterday, what do you think your best advice would be now?
It's a very strange time to be qualified. Obviously gyms are closed. Online PT is not as easy as some people might think. You know, there's a lot of work behind it. It is still building a business at the end of the day. So what I would actually do is most people in this situation will probably have a job and be looking to leave that job. So I would say obviously keep some kind of income coming in by staying at that job and do not look to leave your current situation. And then the next thing I would say is use this lockdown and use the gym closures to gain additional experience, especially if you've only done a 6-week course, because it's the bare minimum that you learn on that 6 weeks. It's like with a driving test, you know, you do your driving test, but you only start to learn how to drive when you're out in the real world without an instructor next to you. It's the same with PT. Like there's so much to learn from client psychology and how to support them on that level, how to sell your services, admin, finances. So there's a lot you can be learning now. and studying essentially. Yeah. And then the last thing I'd say is get yourself in shape if you're not already in shape, because even though you don't have to be in shape to coach someone, you are the face of your business. And if you're currently not in the best shape you can be, then definitely aim to start getting in better shape now, because that will sell you to a certain degree. You know, I'm not saying you have to have like washboard abs or massive shoulders, but just some level of fitness, some level of strength, and aiming to just be a better version, because that's what you're asking your clients to do. So just start walking the talk if you're not doing so already.
Interesting take. 2020 has been a weird year. Has there been any particular positives that you'll pull out of 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I am where I am is through the whole outlook of everything. You know, you can always get a positive out of any situation. Equally, you can always get a negative. So it's just about how you look at things. So yeah, there's been a lot of positives. The main one for me, which isn't really business related, but the main one for me was how I was running myself into the ground pre-lockdown, and I was working 7 days a week. I had no balance. So coming out of lockdown, a lot of my sessions switched over to mornings, just because a lot of my clients were on furlough, so they were available in the daytime. Whereas previously I was away in the gym to 10 p.m. at night. I've got a family at home. I've got 2 young kids, twins. I wasn't seeing them like in the evenings. I was constantly, you know, in the gym on the weekends in the morning. So I think the main thing for me was appreciating family. So coming out of the first lockdown, I changed my working hours straight away. So I gave myself Saturdays off. I didn't work past 12 on Sundays. And then I took Mondays off completely to basically do my check-in day. So I'm at home. I work from the office on Mondays. That takes me a whole day now, because I've got 20 plus clients to work through.
Yeah.
And then I've also got people on my 8-week challenge who I do a one-to-one check-in with for the duration of 8 weeks. So I'm currently busy with that as well. So that takes a whole day. And then Friday after 12, I don't work. So I've got clear working hours now, and that's an absolute game changer for me in terms of having that quality time at home. So yeah, made me appreciate family a lot more.
Brilliant.
Which I'm sure you can relate to.
Oh, 100%. That's, and I think anybody that's got kids, that's got to be one of the main things that's come out of 2020. We've all had a bit more time to spend with them, which has been brilliant. So I appreciate that. I think we've probably run slightly over our allocated time, but and I'll definitely give you a nudge to come back on and maybe do part 2 if you're up for it. But final question for me, and is if there's a parting words or some parting words of wisdom that you potentially say to the PT industry right now, what's probably the best advice you'd offer those guys?
Just to stay positive, surround yourself with a support network, and realize that is the key to kind of growth. And don't be scared to invest in yourself as well. Like I said to you earlier, if I wasn't on that business course when the lockdown happened, I'm not sure where I'd be right now. You know, we all have self-doubt, we all have fear, and as positive as you know you think I am and I think you are, you know, we all go through these emotions. So sometimes, or definitely, having someone or a group of people who you can, you know, open up to, whether that's a friend, a family member, a business mentor, a colleague, having someone that you trust to be open and honest with, and also give you reassurance is key to kind of progression and growth, I would say. So if you haven't already, invest in a business coach, a personal coach, or start to think about who you're surrounding yourself with when it comes to friends and family members and people who are going to lift you up and not bring you down.
Thank you, Jonny. Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for popping on today.
Of course.
I'll definitely invite you back, and fingers crossed the next couple of weeks we'll do it again.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed it.